Do-do-do-do, it's Camdork.
Hello everyone, this is Camdork, and welcome to another episode of my Buildcraft Season 3, where we play Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Railcraft, and Forestry. Hello, and today's episode is going to be all about item transport, and specifically we're going to be using robots to move some things around my base and deliver items where they need to go. Now, you might notice, for those of you who are observant and recall last episode, we didn't have this little entryway to the main base, and this bridge is now different. But yeah, so I've been working a bit on some of the features of various buildings. I added on to the bee house, and down here we now have a lot of bees going on. And there we go. So I think what I'm gonna do right now, I kind of have it. Well, I don't have it fully set up, but we're probably going to put bees over here, have something of the bee storage room that we did last season, and we'll have kind of the items going over here and some processing. But for now, you know, that's the plan. We'll see what happens. For now, we're just gonna go on. Oh, and yes, by the way, the walkways are new too. You like them? Well, don't care, because that's where they are. I will likely move this because, as you note, it's right in the middle of the walkway. Anyway, that's not what we're doing this episode. This episode, we are going to make and use robots, and we are going to make and use robots to move some things around the base. In particular, you will note that with the tree farm comes a lot of charcoal, and I think it's a good idea to use this charcoal as a fuel source. And how did a cow get here? You're stuck now. Anyway, so use charcoal as a fuel source for the robots and for a few other things. So we are going to need to generate some power to process some of the bee stuff. And you know what? If we need power for anything else, we're gonna use the charcoal and Stirling engines. The other reason why I need charcoal is I need to make sure that the base has a furnace system that is totally fully stocked at all times without me having to do anything. And I also need charcoal to make sure that this, which I added to the train station, that the advanced item loader here, right here, has charcoal to fill up the trains when they come by, and this fluid loader is here. It doesn't need charcoal, but still. So anyways, I have a need to put charcoal in specific locations, and we are going to use robots to do that. So let's go ahead and make some robots right now. There are so in transporting items, and the other thing I need to do is it's also very dirty in this base, and by that I mean look at all these eggs. They're everywhere. Right now my robot is my picker robot is not functioning because I have too many eggs. He's actually set to put things in this chest. I'm gonna have too many eggs, and I need the picker robot to move things in a little bit of a smart manner. So we might be getting to that today too, but we are going to be using some robots to transport items. And of those robots that are used to transport items, we've used picker robots, and I think we've used carrier robots before. But today we're going to be making some other robots. So, oh, I already have a redstone board in here. So the carrier robot transports items between inventories, as you see. Picker robot picks up items and then puts them into an inventory. And delivery robot delivers items on request. We're going to make a delivery robot here. Let's just turn that on. We're also going to be... Oh, no, I want you to go over here. Make this have power. Here. Stop. Give this power. Sometimes it takes a second for it to actually work. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make some robots, and then we're going to actually go and explain a bit about how we're going to do things, because we need to first understand what the difference between a carrier robot and a delivery robot is, because we have to decide which one we're going to use. So, I'll be right back, and we'll go into it. We are in a creative world now where we're about to talk about the difference between this robot over here and that robot over there. These two are the carrier robot and the delivery robot. Now, we need to know how they're different because we need to know which one to use in our world. So the carrier robot, for one, its description is to move items between inventories. You might ask, what's an inventory? Well, in Minecraft, that's anything you can right-click on and put items into or take items out of it. The delivery robot, the description there is delivers items upon request. So it's not really that clear what they do, but we're going to figure that out right now. In fact, both of these robots actually do the same thing. They move items from one inventory to another, but they differ in the way in which they do that. So we'll use the setup here to explain a little bit. So just to explain how this setup is going on, you see there's 4 chests, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the robots here are set so that when I flick this switch, they're going to work in the area that encompasses all 4 of these chests. Okay? And then in each chest we have as follows. Over here on the left we have an empty chest, and the gates here, the gate triggers are set so that if there's space, then it is set to accept items. Over here in this chest, it's in front of the green wool, and as you might imagine, it's full of green wool. And this is set to say if there's items in here, provide those items. Likewise, this chest is full of red wool, and it has the same thing to provide items, and this one is, again, an empty chest, and also is set to provide items, and this needs to be... We need to get another station there. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so I was doing some tests before, so just... bear in mind, we're actually just going to reset the guys totally. We're just going to give ourselves some new robots. All right. Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and turn on the carrier robot and see what he does. So, turn it on, he works in this area, and he goes instantly to this green chest, picks up green wool, and then heads over to here, drops off the items. And then where is he going to go now? He's going to go and pick up another set of items, but where is he going? Well, he goes right back to the green wool, and he does exactly the same thing. And the carrier robot, in fact, will go back and forth between these two until this chest is completely empty before he even starts to look at this red chest. And now we have to understand a bit why that is. And in order to understand that, you need to look at how robots generally function. All robots have kind of a common AI. The first thing that all robots do is make sure that they have power. As long as they have power, they go about their merry way. If they do not have power, they go and look to see where they can get it. And they go to the closest place to do that. And then once the robots are gonna go to work, they look for the closest place to do their work. So in the case of the carrier robot, if he has items, then he looks for a place to pick up items. So he looks for a gate that has a provide items tag on it, and then once he has items, then he looks for the closest place to go to drop them off. So the way I have this set up, you'll notice there's numbers here. There's a 5, there's a number 5, a number 10, a number 6 over here, and a number 12. And those are the blocks, the distance in blocks, at least this way, away from these stations here. So if this one is 5 blocks away and this one is 6 blocks away, well, the robot chooses first to go pick up items right over here. And then the closest place to drop them off, he has 4 choices. There's 2 over here, they do the same thing, or 2 way over there. So obviously the 2 over here are closer, and in fact this is the closest station. So he goes here, and then likewise kind of the cycle repeats itself, because this is the closest place to pick up items. Okay, so that makes sense in terms of the carrier robot. He picks up 1 stack at a time, as you might have noticed. And now let's look to see what does the delivery robot do. So let's turn him on and see where he goes. And he does nothing. He's black. He means he's on, but he has nothing to do. And the reason why is because the delivery robot does not use the same triggers or the same gate actions as the carrier robot. So carrier robot has the gate action of accept items and provide items. The delivery robot does recognize provide items, but does not recognize accept items. The delivery robot uses something different. So we're going to set up the delivery robot to take items from this chest and put them in all the way over here. So in order to do that, we can use this one right here, and we can say, where is it? Request items, and we can specify lime wool. And right now you see it has a number as well. And if you right-click or left-click, you can adjust the number, and if you shift right-click and left-click, you can adjust the number in larger increments. So we're going to have him transfer 32 blocks at a time of lime wool to this chest. Okay, so when we turn this on, he should go ahead and figure out that he needs to grab lime wool from here, and in fact he grabs 32, so there you go, that one goes down to 32, and then he heads over to this particular robot station and drops him off. Yay, he's dropping him off. Cool, and then he's going to do that again and again. So that's cool, but what if we wanted to sort of say, well, I actually want you to check and transfer items between different inventories. So let's make him go back home, first of all. We'll reset this. We'll also reset him. We'll give him another robot. I want to make sure it's a fresh robot so that everything is kind of reset. His logic is not still thinking about what he had to do before. And we're going to do a little test. We're going to have, so that one's already set to transfer green wool into over there. Now let's go ahead and say this one is going to be set to request items and request red wool. And in fact, we'll just do a full stack. That's fine. So now let's turn on the delivery robot and see where he goes. And so now he goes over to the red. And that's interesting. The red wool is farther away than the green wool. So why is he picking up red wool? And that's interesting. So let's go ahead and think about how they work. Remember the carrier robot? He's looking to say, if I have items, I go to the closest place where I can pick up items. And if I don't have items, I go to the quickest place that is available to pick up items, and likewise, if I have items, I go to the closest place to drop them off. The carrier robot does not think ahead. The delivery robot, however, thinks ahead. It will only do its trip if it has a place to get items and to deliver them. And in fact, the delivery robot, what he does first is look for this gate action, request items. He looks for request items. So even though this provide items is farther away, when you look at the difference between how close this chest is, which is 12 blocks away, and this chest way over here, which is 10 blocks away, the delivery robot, when he's sitting at home and I turn him on, he says, I see this request items is closer to me than that one. And so he consequently does that back and forth. So that's pretty cool, right? Really nice for what we're going to do. There is one more thing we need to think about, and that is... oh, there's actually no room in this chest, I think. Yeah, it's all full. Oh, yeah, and see, now the carrier robot's going back and forth and doing red wool. So we'll let him do that. It's fine. That's totally fine. So we're gonna set up something real quick here. I think I can just put him back. So he's turned off. We're gonna set up something really quick up here. We're gonna set up a furnace, and we'll set up a chest that has some charcoal in it, because this is gonna be basically what we're gonna want to do in our world. That's a little close. Let me put it over there. So we'll put up one of those. We'll get a do I have a pipe? I do not. So let's get some pipes. Cobblestone. We'll do golden pipe. That's fine. Yeah, it'd be quicker that way. So golden pipe. We need a docking station, and then we're gonna set this to say if there is less than 50% of items of charcoal in there, then we're gonna say request items of charcoal, and we're gonna say we'll request 32. So that means if there's less than 50%, give me a half stack. And that should bring things above 50%, and that's it. So we're going to expect, if I fill this with charcoal and set this to, oh, you know what we can do? We can just take this, copy that, and paste it right here. I love this gate copier. It's really nice when I figured out what it is, because then it's set to provide items. And you don't need to specify that what it's providing. It will be pretty obvious for the robot. And the delivery robot will now go and figure out, I need to pick up charcoal here, and I'll put it back into here. So this has nothing in it. He'll get 32 in here, and now that turns it off, and we have a little bit of an issue. Why is he transferring 2 of them? He should have only transferred 1. And you might have noticed something. Now he's going to do his other jobs. Oh, go back. He's fulfilling the other requests. So the reason why the delivery robot transferred it twice there was that once this delivery robot checked that this needed, this case was true initially, he transferred 32, and then when he transferred it, this didn't go into the furnace right away. So we need to have this set up so that it recognizes, it turns off once the delivery robot is en route. And so if we need to do this again. So we're going to change this just a bit. We're going to change this to a, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. So I'll just do an emerald AND gate. It doesn't have to be emerald, but it is just gonna be. I'm gonna change the time. And then we're also going to put and use some pipe wire here. Oops, where's pipe wire? We'll do some red, why not? All right, so we're gonna actually have this set to do when the red pipe wire is off and there is less than 50% of charcoal, then request items of, and request needed items is also used by the, we're going to do the same thing. Request needed items is also used by the same robot, but we're not going to talk about that today. All right, there we go. Boom. Okay, so he should now... oh, I should say. So what is the red pipe signal? Well, it's always going to be off until... And you'll notice that when the delivery robot goes somewhere... let me just turn it on. You can see. He's going over to here. We'll let him do one trip, you see? Notice the color of this. See how it's yellow? And then en route, he's going over here. And watch the color of this when he gets close. See how it turns yellow? Yellow is station reserved. It means a robot is headed there. So that means that if we set this to be, if the station is reserved, turn on the red pipe signal. That means when the robot is en route, it will turn this off, and hopefully should be enough time in between. It might not work because these are so close, but it should hopefully be enough time in between where he only transfers it once. So, oh, he's going there. Ugh, this is not recognizing it properly. He's still figuring it. He's stuck in his logic from before. Sometimes this happens. All right, there we go. I think that's it. Is it the same robot? No, okay, now he's working. You have to reset him sometimes. Okay, so he should only transfer it once. You'll notice that station is reserved. And it's off. And now it is, yeah, it was only briefly on, but he did not transfer it once again. So we're going to use that sort of logic again. I'll explain it again in the overworld, but that's how we're gonna have things go. And because of the fact that we're going to need to control the amount of items transferred and where they go in a smart manner, we're going to use delivery robots for transferring charcoal. We can use carrier robots, and we're probably going to use them as well, but for different purposes. All right, so we'll go back to the world, and we'll mess around there. Well, we have the robot, and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and place our robot in the new home. We'll set up all the logic, and then things should be working just fine. So we'll set him up, and he's going to live right here next to the other robots for now. I'll probably redo this robot area at some point, but not today. Not today. So let's put the Emerald Gate in place and the docking station. And since this is going to use pretty much the same as the picker robot, let's copy and then shift right click to paste that. I love this. So the picker loading is not going to be the location. He does not have a load and unload in area, so we'll just get rid of that. But there is a work in area. So the work in area, I've set it up right now as a different location. It's called delivery area, and it's encompassing more or less the entire base. Oh, and let's put our robot down. So now the robot is there, and he's ready to go. Of course, he's not going to do anything, so if we turn him on, nothing happens, because remember, he's not seeing any request items area. So first of all, let's set up the place where to pick up items. This will be temporary. I will probably change this in a little bit, but for now, let's do this for demonstration purposes. And this should work just fine. So it's going to pick up from either one of these chests. Of course, this chest is closer, so this is the chest that is going to be chosen. But that's fine. And we're just going to have it set so that if there are items in the inventory, go ahead and provide items. Once again, let's gate copy this sucker. Right-click, shift right-click. Cool. And now let's set up one of the 3 locations that we're going to set up for delivery of items. So one of them is going to be the furnaces in the main base, and that's why I have this little thing that you see right here. This is going to be where the pipes come out, and we'll talk about how we're going to set that up in just a second. But first of all, let's set up the one that goes over here. And you might see there's a pipe there with a robot docking station. I'm going to set it up with a emerald... I should have an emerald ore gate here somewhere, but at this point it's an emerald and gate. I thought I had an emerald ore. I might have one made, so we'll just we're gonna need it though. Let's go back to the base and check. We have to go get one because we need an emerald ore. I might still have it here. At one point I did. That's okay. I can always steal one from somewhere here that's not being used anymore. That's always a possibility, but it's okay. We don't need it. There we go. We're good. And right now I'm storing my gates right back into here because that's where it's being made. Yeah, there we go. So we have emerald ore gates. We'll take them. Cool. And then we'll head right back and set up the logic. So the 3 places again are going to be where we're going to drop them off over here for the furnaces. So the charcoal over here for the furnaces. We're going to drop off charcoal for the advanced item loader so that trains can be automatically filled with charcoal. And we're going to have a Stirling engine bank over there by the bee house for some power. So for one, we're going to put the emerald ore gate right here. And we're going to set this up so that it's sending a red pipe wire. So if there is a red pipe wire signal, this is going to indicate that it needs items, and it's going to need some charcoal. So we only need one for now because we can set up that logic by shift left clicking. We're going to have it add. He can transfer a full stack at a time. And the reason why is because I don't worry too much about this, because this has plenty of room in it. And we're going to set the trigger for this. I think we need gold for this one. Yes, yeah, we need to set the trigger to be if there is less than 50%, let's say, of charcoal, which there is, then go ahead and put the... Oh, we need to... There. Then go ahead and set up a... red pipe signal. Okay. Boom, boom. You see that one's off now, and then once we connect it up, it should be on, and now it's requesting items. So actually what would happen is we can have the delivery robot go right now and start working. And let's actually do that. So go on, delivery robot, do your thing. All right, so he sees the delivery location and is, of course, picking up charcoal. So that's great. So he's going to work here, and right now he's probably going to take the route to go in this little hole in the base. I'm almost certain he will. Unless I have a hole somewhere else that I didn't know about that's closer. I guess I do. Huh, okay. Well, anyways, he's going to get there somehow else. He's going to get there in some other manner. I guess there's a hole in behind the base. Or maybe above or something? I'm not really sure. Where's he going? Where's he going? Oh, he's over here. Oh, okay. He went like around. Oh, cool. Okay, so he's dropping off. We'll let him do that, and we'll set up the second drop-off location, which is going to be back behind here. I hope it's not too far away. There's always that possibility. So it's going to be behind here somewhere. There's these two Starling engines. These are not where they're probably going to be, but for now, this is just going to be where I'm going to set it up. There's a pipe right there. I'm going to have a stone pipe as well. We need to put a docking station on that pipe as well. Oop. We need to put a docking station, but this is just going to be to kind of show how it's going to work. So first what I want is I want items to be sure that they're inserted into the engine. So I put a clay insertion pipe there, which always makes sure that items are inserted into the inventory if they can be. And then I'll just put a stone pipe over here. And so how we're going to have this set up is that if... we'll need another gold gate, and it's basically going to be very similar. Since items will always be transferred to this one first before anything happens, I'm actually just going to set it up to say if there is less than, and we'll just say less than 25% of charcoal, then, oh, we need to set up the redstone, the red signal. Send out this as a red pipe signal, okay? So we'll set it up just the same way. Red pipe signal, okay? So that should mean that we don't really have to do anything over here. If it doesn't work out that way, I'll have to add another gate, but I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. And then I'll set it to just transfer half a stack of coal. Charcoal, I should say. And do I still have charcoal in my inventory? I really hope I do. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, we need to climb up here and smack a docking station right here. Boom! And then we need to make sure that... actually, we need the emerald and gate here. Emerald and gate. If you get a red pipe signal, request items, charcoal. Yeah, 32. So we might actually see the delivery robot come over here now. He's still going. He's still going back to that one. And remember, he's going to satisfy that request before he goes over here, because that one is closer. So it's going to take a few trips for him to go back and forth. As you see, he was still just going. He was picking it up. I think he's on his way back. He's probably done about 3 trips so far. So it's I'm gonna let that robot work all night long, and we'll head back to the main base here so I can go to sleep and be back right in the morning to continue. All right. So I'll see you in just a second. We're back, and our delivery robot has finished his job over there in the advanced cart loader over here. So this has now more than 50%. So it's no problem. So delivery robot has done his job. He's now, though, going to satisfy the request over in the farther area. Oh, he's got some charcoal, and he's going back behind this building, and he's going to go up here. But I did forget one thing, and that is to set up the logic, because we want to make sure that these Stirling engines, just like the furnaces, we want to make sure that there's not too much charcoal that's transported. So we're going to set this up with a, let's see, do I have an iron gate? I don't, but I'll use a gold for now. I have plenty of this stuff anyways. And I want to also set up a blue redstone wire, or blue wire. And we're going to have it say, if the station is reserved, put out a blue pipe signal. And this is going to mean only request items when there is blue pipe, oh, I'm sorry, no blue pipe signal, and a red pipe signal. So that's going to set it up so that only request items when you are not a reserved station, and this thing is saying I don't have enough items. And so what's going to happen is once the robot lands, then he's gonna drop off his items. And now you see it's back to normal. You dropped off something. Hold on, where are they? Where did they go? Did they go real quick? Oh, wait, oh, what just happened? I don't see where the items went. That's weird. Huh, that's interesting. Maybe that's a little bug. We'll see. He was able to transfer items before, and he was actually carrying something. Maybe it was because I was changing it right when it was happening. We'll check on that later just to make sure nothing funky is happening. But delivery robot's still doing his job, still picking up items. I don't know why we lost some items there. So let's see. Oh, he's picking it up from here, so we'll probably pick up 32. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Delivery robot, where'd you go? Where'd he go? Where? Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, so he's heading on this merry way. Let's follow him, actually. I just want to make sure that he's dropping off items. I think it was just a little hiccup in the system. So he should go with two... we should see him do 3 trips. The first one, the 32 charcoal, should go into this one right here. Okay, there it is. I think it was just a... yeah, it was just a hiccup initially. Okay, so he'll do that 2 more times because he'll do 1 more. It will automatically go into here, and then the other one will go into here, but then it shouldn't be 4 times, so it should not fill up that last charcoal, that last Stirling engine. So for the final drop-off location, it's going to be very similar. We're gonna create a pipe that goes here all the way. Let's just here. It's going right into here, whoop, and down here. And over here, and somewhere in this way, yeah, whoops, back here behind these furnaces. So I'm going to set it up in a very similar manner. We're going to set up where there's a bunch of, oop, there's a little lag, that's okay. Where there's going to be a bunch of clay insertion pipes. So these are all going to be clay insertion pipes except for the last furnace. And you might say, well, how are you going to, Chemdork, how are you going to make sure that it goes in the right sequence? Well, we're going to use the new feature. Well, it's new for me, kind of, that I hadn't used much before, but I love it. It's this paintbrush of the pipes. It just looks pretty as well. So we're going to set it up where we color them like this. Is that right? Yeah, that's going to be right. Yeah, we're going to do it that way. See, it's going to go up and then down and then up. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so you see now it's in an S pattern. And I think, oh, we're going to need more red pipe wire for sure. Luckily, I'm right here. So let me just take a whole stack almost. And we're going to just use the pipe wire to go all the way there. It seems like the pipe wire, the coloring of the pipes means you actually have to do it this way too. Because it does not, you see how it does not connect? So yeah, so then I will run this. So we're going to set this up so that if there is, once again, we need a gold gate. And we're going to say if there is less than 25% of charcoal, then send out a red pipe signal. As you see, there it is. And I'll go real quick and I'll make a pipe go all the way over there. I'll be right back though, because that's going to take just a second, and I'll be right there. There it is, and you can see our delivery robot. He's making his, I believe this is his last trip, so I think the last time he'll probably sit down and do nothing in his in his place. And right now we're just going to put the docking station here. So it's red pipe signal because that last furnace is saying, hey, I have less than 25% of charcoal. And just like in the previous case, we're going to set an emerald and gate here. And it's going to say if you have, in this case, if you have a red pipe signal and, let's do blue again. And you have your blue signal is not on, then it's going to request items. So I want to make sure I set up again the blue pipe signal. I'll do that with the gold gate. So if the station is reserved, do the blue pipe signal. Okay, so this should set it up nicely, and then I'm going to do the request items again. Request items, charcoal, and there we go. Same type of deal. So we're going to do half a stack. We're going to request, and there it is. Oh, he's back. He's thinking. The delivery robot, or I should say, robots check if there's work available every minute or so. So it'll take a while. What we can always do is we can cycle him like this. We can say, hey, don't do anything, and now do something. So first of all, we should check to make sure. So he's just gonna, we'll check that he does one route at least. So he picks up his charcoal. It should be half a stack, and he's gonna drop it off right here. And if you notice, it's the blue signal is on because the station is reserved. So it's only, he's gonna transfer once. And now, since the station is no longer reserved, and it still needs more, the emerald gate is once again on, because you can see it's lit up like that. And the robot does his thing again. It looks like the robot, though, it checks that there's nothing left to do and then goes home first. But he should figure out, as soon as he goes home, that he still has work to do. He should figure it out. Is he going to do it every minute? Is this going to cause a long time? Yeah, it kind of is. It's not really an efficient way of doing things. I might have to think about how else we can set this up. I guess at worst case, you are transferring 32 more than necessary. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Interesting. I think there's probably a way we can do this. In fact, I'm kind of thinking of possible ways. But this episode is kind of long, and this at least works, even though it does kind of take a while. But you know what? I don't need this to be crazy efficient. We might fix that in the next episode. We might play along with robots once again. I'll build out my base a bit more. And but anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This was cool. So we have robots kind of going in and around my base. The picker robot, I want to fix that up maybe next episode, as well as the carrier robot. So perhaps we'll do one of those types of episodes again with robots, because I love robots. These guys are so cool. But yeah, we really need to fix up the garbage problem we have in our base. And by that I mean there's far too many chickens, and they throw eggs everywhere. I need to get rid of these eggs. So we'll figure that out next episode, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Take care, and bye-bye. Oh, we should check. Wait, before we go, we should just make sure that there's no charcoal sitting out in the middle of nowhere, and it shouldn't. So if this robot transferred too much charcoal, we should pick up some charcoal here. But if everything's good, yeah, see, actually, that's perfect. It transferred 2 stacks into here, or 2 sets of 32 into here, and 1 set of 32 into here, turned it off, and the robot did not transfer once more. Awesome. Okay, so that worked. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care, and hello, Creeper. You know what? Creepers always make believe they're cows. I don't know why. Anyway, see you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.